Excavating a 400-year-old ancient tomb, archaeologists shocked by the horrifying scene inside. Have you ever imagined that deep beneath the Earth's surface, where darkness has reigned for centuries, there lie secrets so chilling they could make even the most seasoned archaeologists shudder? What seem like purely academic excavations sometimes unveil scenes so terrifying they feel ripped straight from a supernatural tale. Some tombs, believed to be nothing more than ancient ruins, have shocked experts when stone doors sealed for hundreds of years were finally opened, revealing sights so unsettling they sent chills down their spines. In one instance, a 400-year-old tomb belonging to a Chinese prince was found to contain an object so strange, no one dared to touch it. Its ominous appearance and the eerie energy it gave off seemed to defy all scientific explanation. Even more disturbing were skeletons discovered in unnatural positions, as if the deceased had struggled violently in their final moments. Was it mere coincidence, or is there a deeper, unsolved mystery behind these grim scenes? And then, there are the bizarre artifacts, unlike anything recorded in history, that continue to emerge from these dark tombs. These discoveries leave researchers restless, as no ancient texts or modern knowledge can provide a logical explanation. These findings stir a mix of fascination and a vague, creeping fear. So what is the true story hidden behind these ancient tombs? Join me today on a journey to uncover the terrifying secrets that have left the world stunned. 1,000-year-old mummy in a sitting fetal position in Peru. Over 1,000 years ago, a 50-year-old woman peacefully passed away and was embalmed in Pachacamac, an important archaeological site near Lima, Peru. Her skeleton was found in a large cemetery, just meters away from a deserted temple. Notably, her body was buried in a fetal position, a posture strongly associated with ancient cultures and spiritual beliefs. To preserve the mummy, archaeologists maintain this position throughout the process of preparing it for exhibition at the Musée de Confluence in Lyon. Subsequent analysis revealed that the mummy belonged to a pre-Inca civilization and would contribute significantly to the collection of archaeological artifacts related to death and burial customs in various cultures around the world. Pachacamac, located 25 miles south of Lima on the Pacific coast, is an important archaeological site. In 2012, more than 80 skeletons and mummies, including those of infants, were discovered in a 1,000-year-old tomb. These remains may have been victims of sacrificial rituals, reflecting the profound spiritual beliefs of the community. In addition, 70 other skeletons and mummies were found at Pachacamac, all buried in a sitting fetal position. It is believed that from around 800 to 1450 AD, thousands of people lived in this ancient town, following the god Pachacamac, who was thought to have created the first man and woman. The residents built 17 pyramids and merged with the Inca people when they conquered much of South America. The site spans 600 hectares of arid land and is considered one of the most important ancient settlements in South America, rivaling Machu Picchu or the Nazca Lines. The terrifying object found in a 400-year-old tomb of a Chinese prince. Nestled in the scenic landscape of Guilin, Guangxi Province, hailed as one of the most picturesque places in all of China, lies a small tomb that holds a secret so shocking it stunned the entire archaeological community. It's small, just about 108 square feet, but when it was excavated in 1983, it opened the door to a story that was not only bizarre and chilling, but also filled with curiosity. About a young prince and a horrifying kind of liquor that few dare to even think about. The man buried in this tomb was Zhu Ludao, the eighth son of Zhu Renchang, the Prince of Jingjiang, a regional vassal under the Ming dynasty founded by Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang. Born in 1572 and passing away in 1590, the prince died at just 19 years old. To this day, the cause of his death remains a mystery, with no clear record in official historical texts. But what troubles researchers even more than his death is what was buried alongside him. During the excavation, archaeologists were surprised to find, among traditional burial items, a pair of unusually ornate porcelain jars. These were fine white ceramic vessels painted with 5-clawed dragons, a symbol strictly reserved for royalty at the time. But it wasn't the intricate artwork that made them freeze in shock. It was the fact that a liquid still remained inside, completely intact, after more than 400 years underground. Driven by curiosity, The team carefully opened one of the jars to see what was inside. What they found left them pale-faced. Inside was not only liquor, but also the bodies of 3 tiny, hairless baby mice, still perfectly preserved. Upon closer inspection, they realized what they were looking at: baby mouse wine, a notorious folk concoction once whispered about in old Chinese tales, rumored to be a potent male tonic, even considered a miracle elixir for men in ancient times. It might sound unbelievable, but baby mouse wine is very real, and it's entirely possible that Prince Zhu Ludao was so fond of it during his lifetime that it was buried with him to enjoy in the afterlife. So what exactly is baby mouse wine? For those unfamiliar, the main ingredient is newborn mice, less than 3 days old, pink, hairless, and no larger than a pinky finger. These mice, affectionately called pinkies, must still be alive, nursing exclusively on mother's milk, having never eaten anything else or been exposed to the outside world. And then, just like that, they are dropped directly, alive, into a jar of rice wine to ferment. Sounds horrifying? You're not alone. But historically, mouse meat was consumed in various parts of Asia, including Vietnam and China, due to its low fat and high protein. Baby mouse wine, meanwhile, was considered a premium health tonic in some traditional circles. Folk wisdom claimed it could boost male virility, improve circulation, strengthen the kidneys, and treat fatigue, back pain, and general weakness. For men in particular, it was regarded as a kind of bedroom miracle cure. However, beneath that nutritious reputation lies a host of dangers. In many ways, the tomb of Prince Zhu Ludao is more than just a historical relic. It's a living archive of a time when the line between medicine and horror was disturbingly blurred. Which raises the question, was this truly the prince's favorite drink? Or is there a darker story behind these eerie jars of wine? And even more unsettling, could his untimely death at age 19 have had something to do with this so-called miracle elixir? It's impossible to say for sure, but as you can see, even a tiny tomb can hold an entire chapter of untold history. Fascinating, isn't it? 2,100-year-old Chinese Marquise mummy. In 2016, an archaeological discovery shook the world when scientists announced the find of the 2,100-year-old mummy of the Marquise of Dai from China, preserved in an exceptional state. The Marquise of Dai, also known as Xin Jui, was the wife of a marquis during the Han Dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE, and is one of the best-preserved mummies ever discovered worldwide. Remarkably, her body remains intact, with soft skin, joints that can still bend, and her hair, eyelashes, and internal organs in perfect condition. Xin Jui passed away at the age of 50, and autopsy results revealed she suffered from several common ailments such as diabetes, high blood pressure, liver disease, gallstones, and arterial blockage, with the direct cause of death being a heart attack. In fact, scientists believe this may be the oldest known case of heart disease in the world. Xin Jui's tomb was discovered in 1971 when workers were digging a shelter in the Mawangdui Hills in Hunan Province, China. In the tomb, archaeologists unearthed over 120 silk garments, 182 valuable lacquerware items, and hundreds of other artifacts such as cosmetics and hygiene tools. They also found 162 small wooden statues representing servants in the tomb. According to records, Xin Jui's body was wrapped in 20 layers of silk, soaked in a weak acid solution, and sealed in 4 coffins. The tomb was then covered with 5 tons of charcoal and sealed with clay to block out water and air, preventing bacteria from thriving inside. While these preservation methods helped the mummy survive for over 2 millennia, scientists have yet to fully decipher why Xin Jui's body has been preserved so well, making this discovery one of the greatest mysteries in archaeological research. The mummified girl that remained intact. After 800 million years. The story began on a fall day in September 1969, when miner Karnakov accidentally discovered a marble coffin in a coal mine in the village of Rashovchik, Tusolsky District, Kemerovo region, Russia. The coffin was decorated with intricate patterns, creating a mystical image from a distant past. This discovery brought all mining activities to a halt, and people gathered to witness the phenomenon. When the coffin was brought to the surface, the scene inside shocked everyone. The body of a woman was preserved in a pinkish-blue fluid, appearing youthful and beautiful, leaving everyone who saw it in awe and disbelief. This woman was described as having large, round European eyes, curly hair, and soft, pale hands with neatly trimmed nails. She wore a knee-length white lace dress with short sleeves embroidered with flowers, creating an image of youth and elegance, yet also carrying an air of mystery, as if the woman were simply sleeping in the coffin. A particularly striking feature on her head was a small black metal box, about the size of a mobile phone, with rectangular and circular ends, which sparked many questions and curiosity from onlookers. Later, she was referred to by the locals as the Tusulski Princess, adding to the mystique of this extraordinary story. The coffin and the woman's body were displayed for 10 to 15 hours, attracting crowds from the village to witness the historical event. However, after news spread, the authorities intervened to ensure safety. Firefighters, the military, and militia were called, and a helicopter was used to remove the coffin from the area. By 2 p.m. that day, the area had been sealed off to prevent any potential dangers from the mysterious coffin. The story of what happened afterward is even more bizarre. The coffin was transferred to the helicopter, but because it was so heavy, they decided to drain the fluid to make it lighter. Once the liquid was removed, the body began to darken right before their eyes. As a result, the fluid was poured back in, and the darkening faded quickly. After a minute, the woman's cheeks regained their rosy color, and her body appeared as fresh as if she were still alive. 5 days later, an elderly professor from Novosibirsk arrived to report preliminary findings from their laboratory. The professor stated that this discovery would overturn many existing understandings of human history. When Soviet scientists made their announcement, the scientific community was shocked. According to the professor, the coffin's age was at least 800 million years old. The woman was older than the coal surrounding her coffin, completely debunking Darwin's theory of evolution. To preserve the theory of evolution, some suggested that she might have been an alien, but genetic analysis revealed that her body was genetically similar to modern humans. Today, our bodies are very similar to our ancestors 800 million years ago. There's no evolution, the scientists said. The fabric she wore was entirely unlike anything seen today. The scientists also couldn't identify the composition of the pinkish-blue fluid, though some components resembled onion and garlic. As for the metal box, professors have yet to make any comments, and it is still under study. However, the level of scientific advancement of the civilization in which this woman lived might have been far superior to our own. It can be said that evolution is the gradual change of living organisms over time. Darwin once declared that all species evolved from a common ancestor. If Darwin's theory were correct, we should be able to find intermediate fossils that show the evolutionary process when one species splits into two or more others. However, in reality, this has never happened, and the story of the Tusulski Princess sends us a message that humanity may have existed far longer than textbooks suggest. The history of human existence still holds many mysteries. However, the question remains, why did all the villagers who witnessed this remain silent? It is known that the anger subsided when the Tusulski area was suddenly surrounded by the military and police, who visited each home to remove rebel elements among the residents. The area where the tomb was found was carefully reburied. Despite efforts by the authorities, some villagers continued to fight for the truth. One villager even wrote to the Central Committee of the government, but he died within a year, reportedly from heart failure. In the same year, all 6 witnesses to the event died in car accidents, and the others remained silent forever. This only proves one thing, that behind the body and the coffin, something very frightening is still hidden. It seems that we, as small and powerless humans, are simply not allowed to know the truth. Egyptian mummy in Roman clothing. In April 2010, an archaeological discovery was made at the Bahariya Oasis tombs, located southwest of Cairo, Egypt. A 2,000-year-old mummy of a young girl was unearthed in relatively well-preserved condition, despite the tomb and surrounding artifacts being heavily damaged by sand and humidity over the centuries. The mummy, estimated to be about 38 inches tall, was placed in an intricately carved coffin, sparking much speculation among scientists and researchers about the identity and significance of the discovery. The young girl's mummy was dressed in an elaborate robe, with her head wrapped in cloth and accessorized with small items such as shoes, bracelets, and a beaded necklace. However, what most astonished and puzzled people was that the girl's eyes remained wide open, as though she were fully alert and staring straight ahead, creating a mysterious and haunting impression. Experts have speculated that these wide-open eyes might have been part of a special ritual or a unique embalming method used by ancient Egyptians to preserve life for the soul. Scientists have estimated that the girl passed away between 39 BCE and 395 CE. However, her identity and her social status in ancient Egyptian society remain a mystery. Was she a princess or a member of the nobility? Or was she an ordinary citizen with a remarkable death, commemorated through a special ritual? While these questions remain unanswered, this discovery highlights the wonder and mystery of ancient Egyptian civilization. With her identity still unclear, the secrets surrounding her death and embalming process remain a topic of debate and one of the unsolved mysteries in the history of Egyptian archaeology. Gigantic sloth fossil found in Mexico. On August 22nd, Mexican scientists made a groundbreaking archaeological discovery when they found the fossil of a giant sloth in an underground cave along the Caribbean coast of Mexico. The species, named Xibalba oviceps, carries a name rich in cultural and scientific significance. Xibalba in Maya means the underworld, symbolizing an enigmatic creature, while onyx in Greek refers to the sharp claws of the species, and oviceps in Latin refers to the egg-shaped skull. The fossil was discovered in 2010 by cave explorer Vicente Fito at Zapote Cave, part of an underground cave system in the Yucatan and Quintana Roo states. Scientists revealed that the giant sloth skeleton was nearly intact and found about 50-55 meters below ground. The hypothesis is that the sloth fell into the cave when it was dry or had little water. By 2014, archaeologists had collected significant portions of the skeleton, including the skull, jaw, 9 vertebrae, 3 long bones, 3 ribs, and 7 claws. However, the rest of the skeleton remains deep in the pit and is expected to be recovered in the future for continued preservation and study. This is a remarkable discovery, as the existence of these giant sloths, once rulers of the tropical forests of South America, is well documented. The species migrated to North America about 9 million years ago, but the routes and evolutionary connections between North and South America remain an unsolved mystery.